to immediately investigate the matter. Also coming up, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Authority says the company lacks resources for SkyTrain construction. In international news this afternoon, Biden administration agrees with 7 AI companies to establish safety guidelines for AI development. You're welcome to the broadcast. My name is Noble Crosby, and the SkyTrain over Accra. The conversation does not keep coming up. Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Authority, Awusu, says the country currently does not have the resources to build a SkyTrain. Responding to a question posed to him by TV3 journalist William Evans Inkum during a media interaction in Kumasi on the major government-planned iconic transportation project, the CEO said the focus now is to build the already struggling land rail sector. Evans Inkum, the man who asked the question, is joining us for some perspectives and updates as to the answer that the CEO gave. Evans, thank you for your time with us on the program. The minority in the course of the week, we know that raised issues about the construction of the SkyTrain project. What more has the CEO been saying?
Well, so he is looking at cost. Already he says they have the master plan, talking about the Railway Development Authority has the master plan. They've also done some feasibility, but what they cannot assure is execution of this particular project. But let me just not waste so much time on this, because the man has been speaking, and this is what Awusu had to say.
You have to crawl before you start walking, okay, to be honest with you. And our focus now is to develop the Western Line and the Eastern Line. Of course, we need the SkyTrain. SkyTrains are extremely expensive. It's about $20 million per kilometer to do a SkyTrain, okay, within the cities. Yeah, we have feasibility studies. We have master plans to do the SkyTrain. Unfortunately, we don't have the resources to embark on the SkyTrain at the moment.
So, Evans, we just had the CEO of the Railway Authority speaking with us, but there's also the concern about the levels of encroachment on the country's rail infrastructure. What is the latest on that? Has he been responding to that as well?
Well, absolutely, yes. And it looks like those that have heavily been encroached, they're going to leave it like that. Because if you're looking at the Adum and then Alaba enclave, I mean, there's massive encroachment, and he's thinking about cost. That thousands of structures are likely to go down if they should go back and then revamp, I mean, those lines lying within those corridors. So what they intend doing is to have a branch line or do a realignment. So for instance, train coming from Accra to Kumasi, when they reach Ejoso, they will have another line linking to the Western Corridor. So that is exactly what they are doing now. And we understand that it's going to cost them over $2 billion, but the process has already begun.
Evans, thank you so much. Evans William Inkum is correspondent in the Ashanti region, bringing us updates on the conversation between him and the CEO of the Ghana Railway Development Authority there. Let's take you to the northern part of the country, where the police are on a manhunt for a group of people who shot into a Boko-bound bus on the outskirts of Walawali. The incident, which occurred at dawn on Friday, July 21, resulted in the killing of one person and injuring of several others. The attack is believed to be in connection with the ongoing chieftaincy-related conflict within the enclave. A police statement said, quote, an intelligence operation is currently ongoing to get the perpetrators arrested. Christopher Mwakwa, correspondent, has been following up on this development. He's joining us for some more updates. Chris, thank you. What more do we know about this unfortunate happening?
Yes, so Crosby, as we speak, since the incident happened yesterday, there hasn't been any arrest, even though police has indicated that they have intensified their patrols and on a manhunt for the suspects who are believed to have been involved in this particular incident. But like we reported yesterday, the community has been thrown into a state of shock because where the incident actually happened is just in the Walwale community when you are entering. And for that matter, residents are just not too happy about yesterday's incident.
We know that several others have been injured as a result of this incident. What is their state now?
Yes, so 2 of them are still on admission at the Walwale Government Hospital. The remaining 5, I was told that they have been moved from the Walwale Hospital. As we speak, we don't know whether they are in Tamale or in Bolga, but they are all responding to treatment according to the information I got.
Evans, Chris, was saying on the screens that a vehicle was set ablaze. Is that what we're saying? What happened? Why was the vehicle set ablaze?
Yes, so when the incident happened, that particular bus had some sort of cameras on it. So immediately the incident happened and the bus was sent to the police station. Some youth went there, and these youth are suspected to be those who were involved in the act, went to the police station and set the bus ablaze, allegedly. And so for fear that the camera may have captured them, and which will aid police in their investigation. So that's the reasons why the bus was set ablaze and at the police station.
So this bus was set ablaze when the bus was in the compound of a police station?
Exactly so, Cosmo.
And what have we heard from the police concerning that?
Yes, so even though they are tight-lipped, they are unwilling to give us any information, but we are told sources close to the police station when the incident happened yesterday told me that the police, when they engaged them to find out why they actually allowed the group or those persons suspected to have been involved in the act to burn or set the bus ablaze. They said that they did not see anyone set the bus ablaze, but all they saw was smoke coming out of the bus. So they immediately called the fire service to come and help put out the fire. But the eyewitnesses who were closer to the place said the police were seated at the church office and watched as the youth allegedly set the bus ablaze.
So do we know the extent of the damage? We're also seeing that personnel from the fire service are trying to put out the fire that is on the bus. What is the extent of the damage, and could those CCTV cameras be, retrieved and worked on to get to know the identities of the persons culpable in this?
Yeah, so Crosby, if you bought most of the buses from Accra up north here, you realize that they have some cameras. When you are inside, you see exactly what is happening outside. But as at yesterday, when the bus was set, in fact, the bus, the top aspect and the engine side have all been completely burnt. We don't know whether the police will be able to make use of the cameras. As at now, the state of the cameras, if they'll be able to make any meaningful investigations out of it. We are yet to hear from whatever investigations they will be doing. But yesterday, the IGP was in the Northeast region and even visited some of the victims who were on admission. We are hoping that in the coming days, when police begin their investigation or intensify their search for these culprits and they get them, maybe they may also use their expertise to see how they can retrieve some information from the cameras in the bus.
Lastly, before you take leave of us, Crick, so we know that this is in connection with ongoing chieftaincy-related conflict within the enclave. What is the latest concerning that? How does that link to the shooting at a bus to kill one individual?
Yes, so from what the police have stated, they are saying that they suspect that it has something to do with the Boko incident. But and looking at how the incident happened, there was no reports of robbery. All that happened was that people were shot at in the bus and nobody took anything. And where it happened and its ensuing events that followed it, for instance, the burning of the bus at the police station raises some sort of questions amongst the general public, but we cannot confirm whether it has something to do with the Bawku conflict. But once the police have said, maybe their preliminary investigations has revealed this, and maybe going forward, we'll get more information as to what exactly caused that attack.
Thank you so much, Christopher Marco from the northern region there. In the meantime, the military have intensified public sensitization in Bawku with a view of getting them to facilitate a lasting resolution to the deadly conflict. The campaign took the military deployment to the Bawku Senior High School, where the students were urged to report suspected criminals.
At least 8 persons have been reportedly killed in fresh sporadic shooting within the last 5 days. Several others were also injured around Sakbari, Zogo and Wednamzua.
There's a task force here to ensure that we have a sustainable peace. And then we believe that the peace that we want, it is not only the military approach. So when we are here for a mission to protect the people, for them to have peace, they must understand why we are here.
The renewed shooting was reportedly triggered by an attack on a businessman by armed men about 25 meters away from the Bawku police station.
When we know how to keep our country, how to love ourselves, from that beginning we have created peaceful coexistence among ourselves. So we want to reiterate the point that the military is a friend.
The yet-to-be-identified armed men reportedly robbed the victim and smashed his car.
When we have weaknesses in our system, the threat that we face today, you can't easily identify who is the threat. They are aimed at causing fear, panic, and distorting commercial activities, distorting livelihood. Productive hours are lost.
The community engagement was to preach peace to more than 3,000 pupils and their teachers at Bawku Senior High School.
So the task force is to make sure that we bring all these indicators that we are seeing, which are negative in our society, and then the people of Bawku not having the life that they should have. We have to bring them back. Free transportation movement, free market facilities, schools are working together.
Colonel Entry urged students to develop good neighborliness and to share the same with their parents in order to promote peaceful coexistence in the municipality.
Changing of your mindset, I've talked about it. Taking responsibility, I've talked about it. Now, as part of the effort to keep ourselves safe so that we can have the liberty to grow, liberty to develop, liberty to love ourselves, we say, when you see something, you say something.
Away from security-related matters, the Coalition Against Witchcraft Accusation has called for the passage of the Anti-Witchcraft Accusation Bill currently in Parliament. The group believes that by passing the law, the country will safeguard the lives and dignity of countless innocent individuals, promote social harmony and ensure equality for all.
It is exactly a day away from marking 3 years since Madam Ikua Dente was brutally lynched at Kafaba in the Savannah region after accusations of witchcraft. This has left in its wake fresh calls for witchcraft accusation-related activities to be clearly looked at to put an end to the numerous human rights violations that follow such accusations. As a result, there is currently in Parliament a private member's bill called the Anti-Witchcraft Accusation Bill, which when passed will amend the Criminal and Other Offences Act 1960 to prohibit the practice by any person as a witch doctor or a witch finder to prescribe the declaration, accusation, naming or labeling of another person as a witch and for other related matters. The Coalition Against Witchcraft Accusation, however, laments the slow pace of work with regards to the passage of the bill and calls for urgent actions to be taken in that regard. Members of the coalition include the Sunday Institute, Songtaba, the Women International League for Peace and Freedom Ghana, ActionAid Ghana, the Legal Resource Center, and Amnesty International Ghana. The coalition called on the public to back its call to ensure the passage of the bill into law to bring an end to this deeply entrenched social menace. Meanwhile, a co-sponsor of the bill, an MP for Medina, Francis Xavier Kojusosu, reiterated their commitment to working to get the bill passed.
The reports have been made and the witchcraft bill has been programmed for a second reading and a third reading. So I'm very confident that either today or maybe sometime within the week, when there is space, I would move the motion for the second reading of the witchcraft bill. Hopefully that will generate the debate on the floor for us to debate the principles behind the need to prohibit witchcraft accusation and labeling of other people as witches.
Moving on, the Public Accounts Committee is calling for the restructuring of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SSNIT, by the Labour Ministry to prevent financial losses. The chairman, James Kluge-Aveji, at its sitting questioned why the trust invests in economically targeted projects affecting pensions' financial turnaround.
The Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SSNIT, is mandated to cater for the first tier of the three-tier pension scheme and to primarily replace part of lost income of workers in Ghana. But the trust over the years has invested in economically targeted ventures, many of which have not yielded the desired results. Some 45 equities in which the trust invested over the last decade has not paid any dividend. The trust is also yet to recover fully some funds it invested in real estate, transport, and some abattoirs. Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, James Kluge-Aveji, wants the Labour Minister to restructure the operations of the trust to prevent further losses.
So we want to urge SSNIT to managing the contribution of the members. And you need to manage the funds to the extent that when it comes to payment of their benefit, you'll be able to be in position to pay. That is all that you do. But if you don't manage the funds well, it will get to a point that you'll not be able to pay their pensions. So workers are concerned that you do good investment that will bring in returns so that the value of their contributions will not be lost.
According to Pensions Minister Ignatius Baffour-Ewah, government is equally worried about the operations of the trust and have initiated the process for some changes.
I think your admonition is well taken, and going forward, the policy direction may have to change, especially with those that are more or less socially inclined projects, like the abattoir, Metromas. Certainly those ones cannot be driven by profit motivation.
The Director General, John Ofori-Tinkrang, noted that SSNIT is open to discussions that will make it profitable.
Taking that on board, and I'm sure that over time the portfolio will be streamlined so that we don't have any of these so-called socially targeted investments that have a tendency not to perform.
The committee has also tasked other institutions to improve on their financials, adhere to procurement laws, and be transparent. The Ghana News Agency, Graphic Communications Group, Ghana Maritime Authority, Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, Volta Lake Transport Limited were other agencies which appeared before the committee.
Now, producers and marketers of products with plastic packaging should brace themselves to pay for the collection, recycling and management of the plastic waste, according to the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, as well as Innovation. Now, Director of Policy and Planning, Lydia Iswa, who made this known at a media briefing, indicated that the ministry is currently developing a legal framework to make the policy mandatory.
Managing plastic waste in the country has been a challenge, with governments introducing policies and interventions but not meeting targets. Producers of plastic products and packages will now pay for plastic management under a new policy.
Whichever private sector entity, be it a manufacturer, a producer, that brings any product that uses plastic packaging to the market, the country will hold that company responsible for the collection of the waste.
The ministry is not clear on how the mode of payments for this cost is going to be, but already there are concerns among marketers and consumers that this could lead to an imposition of a new tax or even an increase in the cost of products.
Honestly, it wouldn't be fun to hear that, knowing the recent increase in tax and the e-levies that we are entitled to pay. But looking at the bigger picture, if it's something small, why not?
If we have to pay a small token to support, I'm okay with it.
I usually carry a plastic bag to collect the waste, and that is rather better.
The waste and things are becoming too much. It's making the place, when it rains, and you see that a lot of dirty things are on the road. And then that one, what you see is not good, and then it's took the gutter. So I'm willing to support them to pay the distance so that they will take it away.
That's me there here. I say a bit in the bus stop near Adena. Yeah, packet ball and it, but that's this about there. They say no mamu.
They should rather provide beans at vantage points rather than a new form of payment.
It is early days yet. The ministry even says it is now developing a legal framework to make this mandatory on producers and marketers. And we'll see how the implementation of this initiative pans out. Grace Hamwa Ajiman, TV3 News, Accra.
Moving on, the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition has added its voice to calls for the review of the free senior high school program. The group is proposing that parents be allowed to contribute financially towards the feeding of their children.
The feeding program in senior high schools forms part of the free SHS policy being run by the government. The call by the Ghana National Education Campaign Coalition follows the Tuesday, July 11 demonstration by students of the Binduri Senior High School of the Upper East region over shortage of food in the school. The call also comes on the back of the recent challenges faced by the Buffer Stock Company after food suppliers picketed its head office to demand payment of arrears for food supplied. According to GNECC, the recent challenges faced by the Buffer Stock Company have highlighted the need for an alternative approach. The group is thereby calling on government to allow parents to make financial contributions towards the feeding of their children to alleviate the financial burden on the government. This, in the view of GNECC, will also enable the government to redirect funds towards other vital educational projects. GNECC has meanwhile called on government to engage in constructive dialogue with relevant stakeholders to explore the feasibility and implementation of parental contributions to the SHS feeding program.
This is Midday Live on TV3. My name is Noble Crosby, and we're going for a break. We're back with more stories. Stay with us.
We bet the Lotto Ghana Padia and one they were 539 direct, the best Lotto game in Ghana. You will hear me say, Ubenya with solid magic numbers. A free bako, equasi 39.
Wow! Directory now fat, winning no each show.
Abran Hedino, what the 2 Ghana cities pet, and a 2 you. And to also call star 446 hash across all networks. Ucha direct one. Ubedi 20 times Sika Udikayeno. Ucha direct 2. Ubedi 40 times Sika Udikayeno. And a direct train so Ebema wadi 400 times.
A fat winning no each show.
Kwame so enedino.
A fat
winning no each show. Hey! Direct 2 na mi kana fama me. Winning no the show campa. They were 539 direct. A fat
winning no each show.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathy Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathy Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch homeopathic clinic. Wo be careful airport one.
Pa. Chese na me ankasa me period no say problems wom. Ntina ma wo ho idea ma me. Papa chese na nya asem ketewa. Na me kwan point no, mo hwe me modam no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro. Mo meduro me fire no. Ene ma won kra me enu. Kofro kwa na mkwan mu a eba.
And everything yourself.
Me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante. And then no end point. O mama no nura and then why dia wetimi asori anante.
That's end point for you.
Ofa Roberto.
Hello.
Hey, ohwehwe what che.
Okay.
A free bra wo di end point what dance. Am me call you no. Me Johnson sema na enkoyie. E paso na my emre nyina na magina sebema. Na me no be fie for there. E ho na nyina jaresa.
You heard everything. I have secret. End point is my secret. End point homeopathic clinic. I'm free.
Under the distinguished patronage of His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Ghana National College celebrates its 75th Speech and Prize Giving Day under the theme 75 Years of Holistic Education, Nurturing Leaders for the 21st Century. Date, July 22nd, 2023. Time, 8 a.m. Venue, Ghana National College, Cape Coast. The celebration will be climaxed with other landmark events as follows. July 16th, Regional Church Service. July 19th, Inter-House Debate. July 20th, Nananum Inspire followed by a sit-down. July 21st, Football Gala, AGM, Flag-raising ceremony and more. July 22nd, Speech and Prize Giving Day, Fundraising Dinner Dance. July 23rd, Thanksgiving Service, swearing in new executives, Omuto Fufu Gathering, Pool Party. Nananum Enyansafo.
On Ghana's Most Beautiful this Sunday, 32 talented contestants from all 16 regions of Ghana will grace the stage with their captivating performances, showcasing the beauty and rich culture of Ghana. They will present their unique talents, aiming to represent their regions with pride and honor. As the competition heats up, only 16 will be chosen to go into the main competition. To vote for your favorite contestant for this year's competition, kindly download the TV3 Reality app or dial *713*13# to vote and catch us live this Sunday at 8 p.m. only on TV3.
Sponsored by Gino Tomato Mix, GTP, Techno Common 20 Series, AT, Pepsodent Charcoal and Lemon Infused Formula and Pepsodent Natural Herbal Formula, Geisha Moringa and Geisha Black Soup, Key Soap, Bell Pack Tissues, Sankofa Natural Spices, Vitamilk, Deluxe Acrylic Paint, Nescofa Black Tonic, Heaven Black Mosquito Spray and Coil, Enapa Foods, Freedom from Casapreco, Frutelli Calipo, Duffy's Health and Beauty, Dragnet, Top Choco, Global Wings Travel and Tour.
Kitchen Wars.
The most anticipated cooking reality show is making its return to your screen. It is Kitchen Wars Season 2. Old school alumni get ready to compete for yet another epic showdown. Which alumni will take over from WAS?
The school that came in first place, West Africa.
Get your ladles out, sharpen your knives, and be ready to battle it out. It's Kitchen Wars Season 2. Kitchen Wars, your school fit cook.
Kitchen Wars Season 2, premiering Sunday 23rd July at 5 p.m. on TV3. Don't miss it.
Sponsored by Gino Tomato Mix.
Enapa Foods. Say Enapa. Enye ono soko.
You're welcome back to the broadcast. This is a subject that keeps generating different angles and various reasons. The latest on that is that the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources, Cecilia Abnadapa, has observed that there are noticeable inconsistencies in the report of the stolen cash from her home. She implies that what is being discussed in the public domain is quite inconsistent with the facts in the original complaint on the case, breaking her silence on the matter, which was heard at an Accra Circuit Court on the first time on Thursday, July 20. The minister said she's taking steps to examine the origins of the inconsistencies and will provide a detailed response in the coming days. Now, this is the full statement from the minister. I refer to publications dated 21/07/2023, suggesting that I own $1 million, 300,000 euros and millions of cedis which have been stolen from my house. There are noticeable inconsistencies between what is being discussed in the public domain and the thrust of the original complaint on the matter. I am taking steps to examine the origins of the inconsistencies. I will provide a detailed response in the coming days. We'll be staying with this subject and bring you details in the subsequent bulletins. But in the meantime, former Minister of Finance Seth Terkper has advised government to correct discrepancies in financial statements presented to the International Monetary Fund. According to him, Finance Minister Kenny Ofori-Atta, in his presentation of the mid-year budget, should address as the disparity in figures presented to the Bretton Woods institution and those from the IMF after the assessment.
Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta to reconcile the IMF data with the mid-year budget review.
If you have to look at these differences alone as an indication. So this is the first reconciliation, that we are, expecting to see. These are the same figures as a percentage of GDP. And you can see that we are talking about a difference between government, the last line, 6.3 and 11%. The fund is at 11%, so it's almost double what we are told, our deficit is. So are we going to acknowledge? And we are talking about 2023 probable before we go to 2023 budget and what adjustments, may have been done. We have seen some figures, and others already. So the 2022 probable actual would have to be, adjusted somewhat.
Mr. Terkper urged the government to do more in raising revenue and reducing expenditure. He added that the government must be realistic about the country's arrears and work towards narrowing the current fiscal gap.
Well, economist with the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Godfrey Bobking, has raised concerns about Ghana's governance cost. According to him, the mid-year budget review should contain policy reforms to check increased labor force in state-owned enterprises to enhance fiscal savings and promote equality.
Largely governance. So the mid-year review should offer some kind of outlook in terms of the necessary governance reforms and the necessary fiscal savings from the governance reforms that can complement the fiscal adjustment and the debt restructuring so that we are able to have recovery that will be job-rich, that will be inclusive, that will be sustainable. We should have a good balance between governance costs and growth-enhancing spending. The governance cost is too much. Our democracy is like a cabal, and the cost of operationalizing our democracy is unbearable. That is where we've gotten to. You check the last 8 years, the last 10 years, you see the labor force in some of the state-owned enterprises has ballooned, has increased significantly. And all of this is done just to create avenue for the political capture. Okay, so at the end of the day, the democracy is making life more comfortable for those who join the political value chain rather than the households and the private sector that is supposed to be the engine of what? Growth.
Now, there are calls on the government to provide alternative livelihoods for fishermen as the nation undergoes a close fishing season for 2023. For 1 month, the fishermen across the country will not go to sea to get fish.
The Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development undertook a ceremony to commence this year's close season for fishing spanning from Saturday, July 1 to Tuesday, August 31 at Elmina in the Commander Edina Eguafo Ebrem municipality of the Central Region. Artisanal canoes will be off the sea for 1 month from July 1 to July 31, while industrial trawlers would be off from July 1 to August 31. A closed season, also known as the biological rest period, refers to the stopping of fishing activities during the spawning period to help replenish the stock. The closed season is used to lessen fishing pressure on stocks when they are at their most productive. Also, it gives the fishes a chance to lay their eggs to replace the population that has been lost to fishing and other natural causes. While these have yielded some results in recent times, concerns have emerged about what will happen to the fishermen during the 1 month period. Experts have also asked that a broad consultation be held to ensure compliance with the sea's closure.
Fishermen don't have saving schemes, they don't have social security, they don't have any insurance mechanism. So as soon as they don't go to work, then they are instantly plunge themselves into poverty. Then if we don't take care of vulnerabilities, we'll plunge them into social vices, things that they don't have to do. Some may even put their children in child labor or child trafficking or into prostitution or something like that. So anyone who will be able to help should come and offer.
To help sustain the fisher folks during the period, Challenging Heights, a child rights advocate fighting child slavery, especially in fishing communities, has extended some support to the fisher folks to stay gainfully employed during the 1-month ban.
Now, persons who want to know their HIV status can now do so without visiting any health facility. The program initiative is to encourage the 29% of Ghanaians who, out of fear and stigmatization, are not aware of their status.
According to the Ghana AIDS Commission, there are more than 350,000 persons living with HIV. However, only about 71% of them are aware of their status. The remaining 29% consequently pose a major concern as they may unknowingly be spreading the virus. One of the major obstacles that impede HIV testing is fear of the higher levels of stigmatization towards persons who test positive. HIV self-testing provides the option to test in private, either alone or with someone you trust.
We've all agreed that we should achieve the 95-95 UN AIDS aspirational targets by 2025. There are 28% of people who do not know their status, but they may be living with HIV. So we encourage everybody to take advantage because it's better to know than to walk in ignorance.
The Director General of the Ghana AIDS Commission noted that the self-testing is an innovation aimed at encouraging persons to know their status.
Our ability to diagnose the HIV population in the country is the key determinant of our success in achieving these targets, as HIV testing is the entry to the HIV treatment cascade.
The Minister of Health, Kweku Agyeman-Manu, said the initiative is a potential game changer.
Testing is the foundation upon which our entire response to HIV/AIDS is built. It is the gateway to prevention, treatment, care, and support services. When individuals know their status, they can make informed decisions about their health and make the necessary steps to protect themselves and their partners.
The outcomes so far indicate that HIV self-test kits are a widely accepted method of testing, especially in hard-to-reach communities.
Now, the Nima Polyclinic is taking delivery of 10 oxygen cylinders to augment the delivery of healthcare in and around the Nima enclave. The clinical coordinator of the Nima Polyclinic, Dr. Mariam Abdullahi, said the lack of oxygen cylinders is forcing the clinic to transfer patients to bigger facilities on a daily basis. You're watching Media Live on TV to bring you that story in our subsequent bulletins. But now, the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaje, has admonished municipal and district assemblies in the Northeast region to show interest in bridging the access gap in the health sector. According to him, the attainment of universal healthcare service for all is a collective responsibility.
Speaking at the launch of a $12 million project funded by the Korean government and aimed at strengthening primary healthcare delivery in the Northeast and Upper East regions, Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaje, admonished beneficial municipal and district assemblies to support the project.
The evolution of CHIPS into a vital component of primary healthcare in Ghana has contributed to improving health outcomes, reducing maternal and child mortality. In the pursuit of improved health outcomes, CHIPS has successfully implemented various initiatives focused on health promotion and disease prevention. I implore our DCs, regional minister, our traditional rulers, everybody here to be part of this program to make sure that it is successful.
The Northeast Regional Director of Health Services, Dr. Abdullahi Abubakari, is optimistic the project will address most of the healthcare challenges in underserved communities in the region.
This second phase project will include hospital level care, strengthening, including the training of essential emergency and surgical care, as well as newborn care.
For his part, Northeast Regional Minister Yidana Zakaria said government will continue to collaborate with key partners to improve healthcare delivery in the country.
Intervention by this current government in the health sector is the one single investment in the health sector that is unmatched since attainment of independence.
The 5-year project, dubbed CHIPS Plus Phase 2, seeks to equip community-based health planning services zones, health centers, and district hospitals with various medical equipment, including building the capacity of health workers for better outcomes.
Let's bring you back an earlier story where the Nima Polyclinic has taken delivery of 10 oxygen cylinders to augment the delivery of healthcare in and around the Nima enclave.
The Nima Polyclinic, also called the Nima Government Hospital, serves communities in and around the Ayawaso East municipality. Patients who are admitted to the Nima Polyclinic in an emergency are forced to be transferred to other government hospitals due to the absence of oxygen. A Nima-based organization, Association of Youth and Young Adult Development, has presented 10 oxygen concentrators to the polyclinic valued at over $6,000. The clinical coordinator of the Nima Polyclinic said the school attracts more people to the facility.
Sometimes we are forced to repair on account of no oxygen. So if this oxygen cylinder, especially because it's a concentrator and it's going to concentrate oxygen from the environment to the patient, it is really, really important.
The General Secretary of AYYAD, Kasim Yahawala, said the gesture is part of the organization's corporate social responsibilities.
Last month, we were here to commission both the maternity hall expansion and the massive program. When we were in the process of commissioning, they told us the challenges they were facing with.
Media Live returns with more stories. After this break, please stay with us.
JPS Communications, in partnership with Sunny FM and Sunny TV, with support from Superfarm Network, presents Comic and Comedy.
If you want to know the number of years a man is married, ask about his wife. The way you will respond determines the number of years. If it's 1 year, 2 years, you ask him, big man, how is your wife? Excuse me, you mean my lovely-dovey baby, lovely-dovey wife? After 5 years, how is your wife? She's good. 10 years, how is your wife?
Performing on this big stage are Obian Ponsa, Clemento Suarez, General Tatia, Jacinta, Foster Romanus, Lexi the Comic, Efia Barcelona, Putogo, introducing Ya Enima with Honorable Mikio Sebeko and Honorable Fritz Bafo as guest of honor. Venue, National Theatre. Date, Saturday the 22nd of July and Sunday the 23rd of July. Time, 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. each day. Rate is 150 Ghana cedis for standard and 250 Ghana cedis for VIP. Dial *71 *003# to purchase your tickets on all networks or call 0552 300075. Sponsored by Ebony Condoms, Secure, Blue Band and Series. Media partners.
St. John's School is 70 years. Hooray! The headmaster, board of governors, the management, staff, PTA, all saints, and students are calling on all to join in the celebration of the 70th anniversary. Theme: 70 years of impactful Catholic training on the boy child, the St. John's Experience. The celebration is starting from 17th to 23rd July 2023. Program highlight: Monday 17th July, anniversary lecture. Tuesday 18th July, cleaning and tree planting outside the school. Wednesday 19th July, exhibition by student and a memorial service. Thursday 20th July, float through the principal street of Sekendi Takrani. Friday 21st July, games with all saints. Saturday 22nd July, anniversary Grand Debra. Sunday 23rd July, anniversary Thanksgiving Thanksgiving Mass at the school premises. Guest speaker, All Saint 1980 Dr. Charles E. Owuba. Special guest of honor, Dr. Justice Samo, Just More Construction Limited. Chairman, Old Saint 1977 Dr. Kwesi Enyan. St. John's School, the best. St. John's School, preparing the way.
Ubedi Lotto Ghana Padia and one they were 539 direct, the best Lotto game in Ghana. The Uhian say Ubenya with solid magic numbers. A free bako, equasi 39.
Wow! Director enough fat winning no each show.
Abran Hedino, what the 2 Ghana cities pay and a 2 you. And to also call *446# across all networks. Ucha direct one. Ubedi 20 times Sika Udikayeno. Ucha direct tour. Ubedi 40 times Sika Udikayeno. And a direct train so Ebema wedi 400 times.
A fat winning no each show.
Kwame so enedino.
A fat winning no each show.
Hey! Direct to me channel for me. Winning no the choke camper. They were 539 direct. A fat
winning no each show.
Ghana's most beautiful puts the power in your hands. That's right. You have the power to choose who represents your region. 16 regions, 32 contestants, 1 regional representative. Your vote can choose 1 contestant to represent your region. Here are your contestants. Ahafo region, Amwenima and Techiwa. Ashanti region, Buafua and Ebu. Bono region, Efua and Kwatima. Bono East region, Amobia and Ohima. Central region, Nanaya and Chumwa. Eastern region, Efriye and Oba. Greater Accra region, Ajoko and Nayele. Northeast region, Lom and Wuni. Northern region, Basi and Nura. Oti region, Akos and Olila. Savannah region, Alela and Tetiaka. Upper East region, Hama and Nige. Upper West region, Nuong and Sunsuma. Volta region, Jifa and Selo. Western region, Sewa and Sikapa. Western North region, Biniwa and Mike. Dial *713*13# to vote or download the TV3 Reality app. Remember, your vote is your power. So pick up your phones and start voting now. Ghana's most beautiful, Ghana's beauty, Africa's pride. GMB 2023 is sponsored by
Senator Dr. Rasha Kelej and creator of our Africa TV show.
All Africa will be part of our show.
The CEO of MAC Foundation.
We want to support girls' education. No to infertility stigma, yes to girls' education. We want to stop gender-based violence for stop. Number of child marriage will double by 2050.
Our Africa by MEC Foundation shows Saturdays at 2:30 p.m. and repeats on Mondays at 10:30 a.m. on TV3.
Welcome back to the broadcast. Sports News is up next. The Fosulabi will take us away in the world of sports.
Well, let's head straight into the world of sports, Crosby. My name is Yao Fosulabi, and Kumasi Asante Kotoko owner Otumfuo Nana Setu II held an important meeting with the club's former players and supporters at the Menchia Palace to discuss problems faced by the club and also find solutions to them. My colleague Emmanuel Owusu has a report.
The meeting was aimed to chart a new course for the club following the conclusion of the 3-year mandate of the Dr. Kwame Kyei-led board. The club's life patron expressed displeasure in the immediate past board and management after findings from their report, which was handed over to Menchia.
It's the total debt here, 3,533,424. This is what we have to clear now before say we'll be a grabber starting or starting. This is what it more yet did na Munyani assembly yen the man say yes, I could not say there's a 3,533,000. The air say receivables no there. In your 5 at the end, Yaka say your day my player transfer fee ɛda no mu ka sɛ obi na yɛ transfer no na yɛnwie wɔn mo te sɛ board na gu nti asɛ agyae eti no nso wode ka yɛn nhunu sɛ ba gye sɛ mu wie ansa.
Otumfuo has charged former player and ex-Black Stars coach Akwesi Appiah to lay the constitution of a new technical team.
You know, when it comes to affairs of Kotoko, it's not just one person. You know, I'm just going to try to do the best that I can to make sure that what is needed at the moment, because we're now looking at those who come as new signings and then those who leave the club.
It was revealed that Asante Kotoko's current debt stands at over 3 million Ghana cedis. In response to this financial challenge, the Asantehene has promised to personally settle the outstanding debt of the club. Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II has also decided to appoint an executive board chairman to lead the club's future direction.
Well, the top hierarchy at Kumasi Asante Kotoko are still putting things in place, but we are hearing that today Otumfuo Nana Osei-Tutu II will head to Adakoja Achiwe's Kotoko's training pitch to inspect the place and see how work has gone on that one as well. We'll bring you a lot more details in our subsequent bulletins. But some more stories. And though football remains a leading sport in the country, infrastructure is still a major problem. The Ghana Football Association have been offered support to help clubs play games in standard facilities. There's more in this report by my colleague Kelvin Oswansa.
With the recent struggles by the nation to have a permanent FIFA-approved venue for national team football, clubs in the nation are also struggling to have approved stadiums by the Ghana Football Association to honor league matches. Ahead of the 2023-2024 season, the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation has opened their doors to the GFA to discuss constructing facilities suitable for professional football. Handing over a newly constructed artificial turf to the people of Adenta Municipality, Executive Director Dr. Dominic Edia emphasized the pledge to make football better in the country.
It came up strongly. I think Dr. Baniaku, in charge of football licensing, brought this issue up somewhere around last year. And we've been discussing the nature of it and how best it can fit the standard of international football. So I'm sure we'll get there. The primary purpose from when we started was to ensure that we build it for the community to improve health and sports. But that's the next level we're looking at, which is already being discussed, led by Dr. Baniaku, head of football licensing at GFA. So it's already being discussed as we speak.
The newly constructed turf will help contribute to emerging talent from grassroots football, as the Ghana football philosophy will be implemented soon by the GFA. It will also meet the recreational needs for the community and its environs.
Well, some more stories, and former players are always eager to help, and in a quest to give back to society, former Black Stars forward Kojo Poku Mahala has set up the Mahala Academy to help develop talents in Kumasi.
Waits, come on, everybody saying for Ghana. He scores, it's all over. Ghana are through to the final.
Kojo Poku had a good time in the Ghana Premier League in the early 2000s. He played for Cornerstones, Bofo Akwatano and Kim Faisal, but it was Kumasi Asante Kotoko that gave him an incredible level of prominence. He was nicknamed Mahala by the Kumasi faithful for his work on the pitch every match day. Now retired, he has set up the Mahala Academy to help young talents in Osekrom reach the heights that he reached when he was playing.
I've realized talent is in abundance here, and I want to pay back the kindness and support given to me to excel in my career, back to talent in the community to advance their careers.
Every day, the young boys go through their paces and work hard to realize their dreams of playing in the big league and earning enough to better their lives. Poku outlined the benefits these young boys stand to gain.
This
is not for my selfish gain, but to develop an academy that will admit more talent for the future benefits of the entire nation.
Right, so that ends the sports news this afternoon here on Media Live on TV3. My name is Yao Ofusula. Entertainment News is up next.
In entertainment news this afternoon, Ghanaian rapper and climate clock ambassador Okyeame Kwame has put together a number of activities to mark World Climate Emergency Day. Speaking at the Climate Emergency Walk, he called on the country's leaders to be more ambitious in addressing the issues of climate change in the country. You're watching Midday Live. We'll bring you that story after this break.
This week on Today's Woman, we speak to an obstetrician and a gynecologist who calls herself a tough cookie. Her stories from 2019 up until now, 2023, will do nothing but inspire and uplift you.
I've had a situation where my patient is on the table. I've been talking to this patient since prep room, right? And where we get to the table, and where's the surgeon?
Are you the one going to conduct the surgery? Wow! Make a date with me on Saturday, 3 p.m. right here on TV3. My name is Cookie, and of course, it is Today's Woman.
Today's Woman, all new season with Cookie T, shows Saturdays at 3 p.m. on TV3. Brought to you by Latex Foam. Vlisco.
Well, Ghanaian rapper and climate clock ambassador Okyeame Kwame has put together a number of activities to mark World Climate Emergency Day. Speaking at the Climate Emergency Walk, he called on our leaders to be more ambitious in addressing climate issues.
On Friday, July 21, acclaimed rapper and climate clock ambassador Okyeame Kwame led a team of young activists from the AMA office to Parliament House. The peaceful walk was an action to call on leaders, international organizations, and individuals to act in time to meet our climate deadline and enact the real system-wide solutions we need. According to climate activists all over the world, on Saturday, July 22, 2023, the climate clock will tick down below 5 years for the very first time, meaning we will have less than 5 years to dramatically reduce fossil fuel emissions to stay below 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming. The group is demanding climate justice.
You are the caretaker, but you are not taking good care of your planet. The caretaker is meting out injustice and pain to wipe out the forest with rage, forgetting about generations yet unborn tomorrow. Please, when will we learn the truth from within that trees will set us free? When will we learn the truth from within that no more blah blah blah, because climate justice has to find us now.
Okyeame Kwame reiterated the need to involve children in climate change conversations.
The goal is to show the world that the lawmakers are not oblivious of the fact that the climate conversation is about children. We are old, very soon we'll be dead and gone. And we are going to leave this hot world for these innocent children who have contributed little to nothing to this cancer. So we came here to celebrate or to observe the World Climate Emergency Day, and we decided to marry the lawmakers, which is our leaders now, and our future leaders, which is their children, for them to see it in their eyes how important the climate conversation is. But we want our leaders to be more ambitious.
Dr. Emmanuel Mafo assured the team of Parliament's commitment to taking action on climate change.
In international news this afternoon, the White House has announced that the Biden administration has reached a voluntary agreement with 7 companies building artificial intelligence products to establish guidelines meant to ensure the technology is developed safely. The companies that sent leaders to the White House were Amazon, Anthropic, Google, Inflection, Meta, Microsoft, and OpenAI. That's our package for you this afternoon, but there's always more news on our website, 3news.com if you log on for. My name is Noble Crosby, and I'll see you again some other time. Bye-bye.